Welcome to another day in real estate. I'm Tiffany Weeks, and I have been getting so many questions about the state of the market. So I figured I would bring you the data and not like on a year over year, month by month. I am going to give you the numbers for last week so you can have a realistic picture of the state of the market. Why does this information matter to you? Real estate is living and breathing, always changing. So let's say you look at this video and it's a couple months from now. Is the information still relevant? Yes, because it can help you build a trend. You can then be able to predict where things are going and understand if the market is increasing, declining, if there's been a switch, if it's a buyer's versus seller's market. So always keep in mind the trends matter, so the data matters. So this data is from last week, the 19th of April through the 25th. And this is specifically for Orange County, Florida. If you want specifics for your county, even your specific neighborhood, just hit us up and I'm happy to provide you with that information. So the average days on market, drum roll, 72 days, just over 72 days actually, but since we can't make a day a fraction, it's 72. Here's the thing. There are so many different things that impact the real estate market, from what's happening in Washington to the stock market to interest rates, everything in between. So this information changes on a day-to-day basis, even throughout the week, which is wild. Like if I look at this list, the average days on market in Orange County, if I'm like take a deep dive into the report, says that on the 22nd, it was only 36 days. But on the 20th, it was 72. These things change day by day. So it's really important that you make sure you are dialed in and understand what's happening. All right, so that's days on market. The next stat we're going to talk about is the median price point. So right now meaning last week, the median price point of sales was $517,000, just a bit over that. But that covers everything in Orange County. And depending where you are, those numbers can be drastically different. For example, in Heathrow, that number was actually $659,000. But in Golden Oak, the median price point was $5,995,000. Where you are really matters on your median price point, so don't take the blanket number and think it automatically applies to you. You need to get super specific, not only just for your city, but also your neighborhood. This next one is a big one. It is interest rates. This one is really interesting because the stock market has been all over the place. I haven't checked it this morning, but when I checked it over the weekend, stocks were like really on the rise, but the volatility is crazy, which directly impacts the mortgage market. So right now, as of today, mortgage rates for like a 30-year conventional loan were just over 6.2, which is not horrible because we all remember when rates were in the sevens, but it's really challenging because early this year, rates had dipped below 6%. I personally had a client who did their mortgage application, was super excited to get their search going, and their rate was like 5.99. Well, by the end of that exact same week, before they locked in their rate, rates had jumped above 6% to like 6.15, or I think just under 6.2. And that adds a couple of $100 to your mortgage. That really can be, challenging and can knock someone right out of affordability. So that works, when you're thinking about buyers versus sellers, and if this is a buyer's market versus a seller's market, those are all things you have to factor in. And so one of the main questions that I've gotten, is it a buyer's market or is it a seller's market? And my answer is that overall, right now, it is a buyer's market. Buyers have more inventory, so they have more options. In Orange County, I think there's right around 7 months of inventory. So they have more options, and because interest rates have jumped and the market for interest rates is so volatile, those buyers who can withstand a higher interest rate they have more negotiating power. Now, keep in mind, like I've said for everything else, everything really depends on the micro market, right? In Golden Oak, where the median price was just under $6 million, they're not looking at traditional mortgages in that way. And so there's not a ton in inventory. So it could still be a seller's market in a neighborhood like that. So I think it's important to know the market overall, specifically in your county, specifically in your city. But what's truly important is understanding the micro market where you are. So if you need micro market data, hit us up. Happy to help. Thank you for watching. And listen, this is not one of the typical videos that I would do. So if this is information that you find helpful, number one, subscribe. But number two, let me know. I'm happy to do informational videos with data and market updates like this, but it's only if you guys want it. So let me know. And if there is some specific information that you're looking for, please hit us up.